edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Tony and Barnes show. Anthony, how are you?
Wow, dude. Normally you say the Barnes and Tony show, but now it's the Tony and Barnes show.
I mean, I got to keep you on your feet.
I'm feeling pretty good, dude. Obviously, great night last night over at the Whiskey Barrel. The screen port, I think, was a pretty high success, dude. And that's a great spot over there, man. A lot of fun.
Great spot. Enjoyed interacting with all the guests, including, Richard coming on.
That was great.
That was great. And I'm sure we'll see him on here again. And, another fellow Mets fan for you doesn't hurt, I would imagine.
No, in fact, it helps a lot, dude.
To get through it. Yeah. And then, just a couple of things here before we get into baseball. One thing I wanted to acknowledge, that we didn't get a chance to yesterday, with the abbreviated show. I mentioned over the weekend in, Greensboro, North Carolina, we did have the Wyndham Championship. And how about Tom Kim wins the Wyndham Championship? He's 20 years old, had a temporary membership on the PGA Tour, earned full status, earned a spot in the FedEx Cup playoffs, starting this week at the WGC Memphis St. Jude Invitational. And to top it off, he wins by 5, Tony. Started the round, par 4, got an 8, and wins this tournament by 5 strokes.
No
Pretty
kidding.
impressive for a 20-year-old.
I would say really impressive. Did my backpack. Did anyone else just kind of just plummet or what?
I mean, it was more he just blitzed everybody. I mean, you look at what he did round by round: 67 on Thursday, 64 on Friday, 68 on Saturday, and then closing with a 61. I mean, talk about a way to close out a tournament.
Good for him, 20 years old.
So yeah, I think that's a guy, we're going to see around. I would imagine, he'll be on the International President's Cup team for the President's Cup coming up in September at Quail Hollow in North Carolina. So that'll be fun to watch, and we'll see if he can do any damage here in the playoffs. And, we'll do a preview for that St. Jude Invitational tomorrow. And then one other bit of news, with this tournament, this was the last broadcast for golf analyst, on CBS, Nick Faldo. Got pretty emotional at the end. A 6-time major champion. He had been, I think, 16 years in the booth as Nance's right-hand man. So he was, kind of teary-eyed and, just kind of interesting. I think he's only 65 years old. So people thought it was kind of odd, that he decided to walk away now. Supposedly had decided this last fall. But there are some rumors circulating that the reason why this happened was because before the whole thing, with Live Golf happened, that Phil had gotten a tryout at last year's, I forgot what tournament it was. I think the Tour Championship, something like that. And, that he was in line to replace him. So,
Really?
I think Faldo took that personally, and that's why he decided to walk away. He claims he wants to focus on businesses and family, which could definitely be true. But, he was always very good. You just got a sense of this guy, really knows what he's talking about. So congratulations to him, on a great career. And Trevor Immelman, the former Masters champion, will step in and, of course, be accompanied by Nance and Ian Baker Finch. So the CBS broadcast continues. But just was a fun weekend of golf. And supposedly, too, they're supposed to be hearing, I think it's at 4:00 Eastern time today, the appeal for the Live golfers to play in the tournament on Thursday. I don't know how they're going to determine this so quickly. Just kind of like a quick injunction, but I have a feeling it's not going to go through. I mean, they already have the top 125 set. Like, are they really going to kick out guys that have earned their spot? Ricky Fowler, Mike's guy, got the last spot after missing the cut.
Wow.
Number 125, but I'm sure he'll just miss the cut next week, and I don't know. Maybe find his way to live, Tony. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, a lot of times you think with these guys, just collapsing, it has to be something mental. But I guess you really never know. That's for sure. So like I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Sanjay Im tied for second here with John Huh, 5 shots back. So, definitely just exciting to see. And we might have golf's new prodigy in Tom Kim. Time will only tell. And I would just say, to kind of wrap up this golf segment, we got to plan something soon.
Let's do it, dude.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Michael's ready for redemption after taking out a couple houses.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, dude.
So we'll definitely have to plan that soon. But with all of that being said, Tony, let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, sayonara. Where did that land?
Smoke to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. So once again, that statement applies in a 9-4 victory. The Yankees get the proverbial monkey off their back, defeating the Mariners late last night in the wee hours here on the East Coast. And it was just a much-needed win, coming off 5 straight losses, and many of those losses where you felt like they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing here was setting the tone early. And how about, we've seen injuries to Rizzo, to Giancarlo Stanton. Finally, after all this time, Josh Donaldson showing he has a pulse, really heating up of late. And last night was a perfect example. 4 for 5, 3 RBIs, including a third-inning home run off Logan Gilbert. The Yankees completely dismantled Gilbert again after doing last series at the stadium. He only went 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 7 earned runs, and the home run to Josh Donaldson.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And, summing up the Yankees scoring here, you had Donaldson with a 2-run single in the first, the home run in the third, Andrew Benintendi doubling in the third as well to play another run. And then hitting another double in the fifth, scoring Glaber and Josh Donaldson. IKF with a sac fly in the fifth. Judge with a home run in the ninth. And Trevino a single to center in the ninth as well to make it 9 runs. As far as Jameson Taillon, he had gotten shellacked his last outing, and I thought, this was a pretty big one, especially, after trading Jordan Montgomery. They're really going to need to count on Taillon for at least the remainder of the regular season, and who knows what they decide to do with Luis Severino. I mean, I think it looks like he'll be slotted into the rotation, but with the way the bullpen's been pitching, I wouldn't necessarily mind him being in the pen, but I kind of have a feeling he'll be in the rotation. But Taillon goes 7 innings, 3 hits,
The legend.
3 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, did allow 2 home runs, but picks up his 11th victory of the season. So I thought, that was pretty impressive for him to get through 7 innings and, 3 runs. I mean, it's not perfect, but pretty decent. And, to get 6 strikeouts, 11th victory of the season, 11-2 with a 3.95. So we're going to need more outings like this from him. And I thought, it was impressive, especially with Ty France back in the lineup for Seattle, for him to kind of hold them at bay for the most part. Aroldis Chapman continues his scoreless streak here. I believe it's 4 or 5 straight innings of, not allowing any runs.
Unbelievable.
In the 8th. And then, unfortunately, in the 9th, Clay Holmes, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout. I mean, obviously,
Mr. Poo-Poo.
it didn't matter. They were hoisting a 6-run lead here. But obviously, there has to be concern, about Clay Holmes. And I don't know. I mean, I'm still so wary of this, but I would not be surprised, let's say tonight's game, which I would expect to be closer than this one, a safe situation pops up. I know he just pitched last night, but would not be surprised to see Chapman close it out.
Well, I know you may not be surprised. You're going to be nervous.
Yeah, because it's just like, what the problem is, let's say, Chapman, regains the closer spot, pitches really well the rest of the season. It's like when the postseason starts, I mean, I just can't see a scenario where he just converts every save. I just can't see it happening, especially against Houston. I mean, there's just no confidence there. But then it's like, where do you go? I mean, I guess Loizaga a possibility. I don't know.
How much confidence you having in Loizaga, dude?
I feel like almost just the fact that it's like, just because it's not Chapman, I would feel better. But it's a tough call. I mean, Trevino's close before, but obviously he didn't do the job the other day. Same thing with Efros.
Wow.
So I just don't know what to do there. So that's a question. And then obviously, Matt Carpenter, unfortunately, in his first at bat, falls one off his foot, fractured foot.
So tough, dude.
I mean, at the best, you would imagine he'd be back in October. But we'll have to see, so he's, had a dream season here in the short stint. He's been with the Yankees, so we wish him a speedy recovery, hoping, that, results in Miguel Andujar being recalled from AAA Scranton.
But
we'll have to see there. We know they get nervous, and it could be Tyler Wade, but really, other than Tyler Wade, I mean, we're not going to be tight if it's anybody else, whether that's Peraza, whether that's Estevan Florial. I mean, I think everyone will be pretty accepting of that, as long as it's not Wade. But those two questions I want you to answer for me, Tony. Obviously, we love the win here, but who replaces Carpenter here? And then number two, what do we do about this closing situation? I know it wasn't a safe situation, but Holmes has allowed runs in too many appearances in a row here to be comfortable with like a 1-run lead, putting him in. He's giving up more hits. I mean, what do we do here?
I think Holmes, you got to tough it out, dude. We talked about it last night. I think a lot of it is mental. We know what he's capable of doing, and I do think that with some time, he can get back to that kind of untouchable type of mentality that he's had for most of this season. Because you watch him pitch, and I don't think it's anything mechanical. I think it is just he's a young pitcher. He hasn't really been in this type of situation where he's been such like, oh my God, like lights out. It's like he had so much pressure on him because of that. I think just with some time here, maybe in the dirt a little bit, he'll kind of be able to rise back from it. In terms of Matt Carpenter's situation, I guess Andujar is your answer. I wouldn't be that hard on Wade if he was called up. Come on, dude. We were just talking about him though. The speed.
All right, but the problem is, Stanton, isn't back yet, so we need somebody to be the designated hitter.
Right.
And it's
well, when's Stanton coming back? He should be back soon. No.
Yeah, but they're always like, there's no specific thing, so it still could be up to 2 weeks. You would hope that. See, what just really annoys me is that if Stanton comes back, I could see them sending Andujar or Florial back down and keeping LaCastro up. Get rid of LaCastro. So that kind of annoys me. I knew that was coming, but I mean, LaCastro is terrible. I mean, isn't it pretty pathetic? I mean, it's almost Steven Drew territory with LaCastro at this point.
Yeah, he was 0 for 4 last night, huh?
But I mean, he hasn't shown anything. He's fast, but it's like, come on, like, but
in 194.
But why are you opposed to Andujar?
I'm not opposed to Andujar. I'm just saying that I think Andujar is your answer, but I'm not that tight about Wade.
But what is the reason to have Wade over Andujar?
I don't think Wade should be over Andujar. I was just saying.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I think, what I mean? Tight. It's like, we didn't trade him. Right. He's probably a pretty decent candidate to be traded this offseason. Let's at least see what we got. I mean, I really think he can help the offense here. And I just think it's big with Stanton out right now. And you can't have Tim LaCastro getting starts. And I just can't wait to see. I'm sure they're going to wait till like the last second tonight, with the late start, to see who the replacement is. But
I know it's tough, dude.
So and back to what we were saying. So you don't even want to temporarily remove Holmes from the closer role. Like you're saying, just keep trotting him out there for save opportunities.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you're not necessarily losing games because of him, I suppose, right?
This game in St. Louis, that was pretty tough.
But
then I think, was it Kansas City too? He blew it?
Kansas City, he blew it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless, I mean, I feel like, as long as you kind of get him out there, it's not like it's better to keep him out there and kind of let him, get through the mud a little bit than to kind of pull him and see what happens, I feel.
So in totality, Tony, his last 2 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
3 strikeouts.
Come on, you know that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's really bad. And then you think about that game against St. Louis. It's just like, what are you doing, man? I don't know.
What do you think it is?
I think that first outing, when he had that scoreless streak going, and it's like ever since then, it's like it just shook his confidence, and like I feel like almost like brought him back to the mentality he had when he was in Pittsburgh, where he was just not successful at getting hitters out. And I'm just trying to take a look here at when this started. So, yeah, so it was against Boston on July 9th. He'd only allowed 1 run since literally he'd only allowed 1 run up until that point. He had allowed 1 run all season. And then against Boston, or was it? Oh, no. Okay. It was against Cincinnati. He couldn't get anybody out, allowed 4 runs. Then he had, a pretty decent streak of scoreless appearances, but, higher walk totals. And then these last 3 appearances have just been god awful. And it's just really, it's really tough to take. And I don't know. I just hope, I guess there is enough time, but I just, after losing all these games, like, I don't know, man. And especially after, he pitched last night, let's say this game is 3-2 in the 9th. It's hard for me to say that I might not want Chapman over him just because it's just a regular season game. Chapman's motivated, I feel like. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying I want him to be the closer, for the postseason, but I just feel like Holmes needs some low leverage situations just to get on track. He's just getting tattooed.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. I don't know. I feel like they got to give him some confidence.
I feel like you want to see him blow 1 more game just so I get tight.
No, not at all. You know who's really hyped about Clay Holmes not doing well? Dave Rothenberg.
He's ridiculous, though.
He did say it earlier in the season. He said it like months ago.
Yeah.
He's like, at one point, Clay Holmes.
I can't wait to hear what he's going to say when Diaz, I'm just saying Diaz is not going to go the rest of the season without blowing 1 save. And I just can't wait to hear what Dave is going to say. Yeah. If it's 2 saves, just how his tone is going to change. I just can't wait for it because honestly, I've always liked Dave. I find his content, very interesting. But it's just like, he's got to be more level. He's too homer boy for the Mets.
Well, he's just not a Yankee boy and you can't handle that.
No, but
he's not a Yankee boy.
His job as a national or whatever, a New York sports talk host is to be, talk about both teams equally. And I just feel like he's so like wax poetic about the Mets, and he just like with the Yankees, he constantly tries to discredit.
He's just not a Yankee boy. You can't handle it.
I don't know. And then Rick does it. Rick's the same way.
Honestly. Well, Rick's not really that huge into baseball, but he technically
acts like he is.
Yeah, he's really not. Obviously, he's a hockey guy. Obviously,
right.
But I say he can talk baseball. He's good. It's not like he has like full of shit or anything.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a step up from Bart Scott. That's for sure.
Oh, I would say huge step up.
You don't remember because I'm just blanking here because I saw Dan Grassa is now full time with ESPN New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the 7 to 10 show.
Yeah.
Do you know who was that? Carlin's spot?
7 to 10 must be right.
But I wonder if he's like axed or like
Carlin. I don't know.
I feel like we would have heard about it.
Yeah, Carlin is like a utility guy too. He's all over the place, dude.
I'm just trying to see. Okay. So I guess it was previously held by Carlin, but he in the afternoon slot with Canty.
Ugh.
But I'm not going to listen to him anyway.
Yeah,
so. Dan Grassa though is really good. Honestly, I really have to say. You don't like him?
I don't know. They were bashing him on
who was
Rothenberg. The producers,
Why?
Rick and Dave.
Let's hear it.
That they think that Grassa thinks he's all high and mighty now because he has that swat. Oh, look at him.
Dave's really.
I think he like cursed or something too on the air, or someone he was with on the show cursed on the air. And like nothing really happened, but then like Dave cursed and he had gotten in trouble for it, and he's like, "This is ridiculous."
I think Dave needs to be kind of put in his place a little bit.
I think it's just antics, like harmless antics. I'm pretty sure his contract is still up in the air with ESPN Radio.
But I haven't heard him talk. Have you heard him talk about it recently? Maybe I'm just missing it, but I thought it was August.
End of August?
I just know because then they're talking about when Stump Rothenberg is coming back, so I don't think. I want to say that, like, I just haven't heard him announce it. I just assume they reached an extension.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I haven't heard that they did reach an extension, so I don't know for sure, but I don't understand how you can have any gripes with Dave. He's a Mets fan. Like, that's just, what are you going to do, dude?
But I think it's just he's a perfect example of why, Mets fans can be worrying. And I think it's just like
every other radio host is a Yankee fan, Brian.
I don't know about that.
Max Kellerman, and whenever you talk about baseball, it's just the Yankees.
Do we consider
Michael Kay, dude? It's all about the Yankees.
Do we consider Max Kellerman a host at this point? I mean, come on.
I don't consider him anything.
And then regardless, also Boomer Esiason, big Mets fan. So there you go.
Okay, and I feel like he talks about the Yankees more than the Mets anyway.
And I think Gio likes the Mets too.
Maybe.
So you said he's the only host. He's not. There's Mets fans out there
on ESPN Radio, basically.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just think. You
can't handle the non-Yankee boy on the show. It's what it is, dude.
No, I handle the non-Yankee part of this show very well.
Oh God.
But listen, Tony. All right. So at the end of the day, other than the 2 points I mentioned about Carpenter getting injured, and then Clay giving up another run in the 9th inning, thought this was very positive. And, Judge went a little bit without a home run, so nice to see him get number 44. But I really think it sets up, like, you really want to change the tone of the mood of the team right now. You have to win this pitcher's duel tonight. Garrett Cole versus Luis Castillo. Obviously, they had our number last time. Cole giving up 6 in the first. And I think, and then I think he had given up 5 in his previous start against the Royals. So, I mean, you think about 11 earned runs against the Royals and the Mariners. I think he's out to prove himself tonight. And I just think there would be so much more confidence moving forward with this team if we're able to, put some across Castillo. I think last time, scoring 3 runs over 7 wasn't horrible. So I just think let's keep the momentum going tonight, and we'll talk about it more in a second. But nice with the Blue Jays win, get that division lead back to double digits, get that 1-game lead over Houston, who was off yesterday for the overall number 1 seed, and let's just keep going. And that's the nice part about baseball. It's such a long season. Obviously, that stretch was horrible. Made all of us Yankee fans feel dejected, but at the same time, we go win 5 in a row. It doesn't really matter anymore. That's the nice part.
Yeah.
So that being said, Tony, the Mets, ho-hum, 5-1 victory yesterday. Let's hear it.
See, it's funny because, you wax poetic about the Yankees. Oh, ho-hum, Mets.
Well, I mean, the Mariners aren't better competition than the Cincinnati Reds?
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, especially with they have Castillo now. But do you know the Yankees record right now? Just curious.
I think it's 71-39. And in a tougher division, I would say, that's 5-6 more victories than the Mets have right now. I mean, they're not playing the Nationals.
Regardless, the Mets are 71-39, and they've had to get through hard teams in the NL when they play outside the division.
And the Marlins, and then the Phillies when they were a dumpster fire earlier.
Hey, the Phillies actually had good stretches. Okay,
they have had good stretches.
The Braves are a really good team. They took 4 to 5 from them. They've had to play teams in the NL, which I think is a harder league than the AL in general, not just in in our division. But, whatever you want to say, whatever makes you sleep at night, Brian.
I've always been a big Strider fan. Me and him have similar opinions.
Oh, my God,
offense.
What a sore loser. I still can't believe him. You're a professional athlete. They had some rookie at-bats.
No. I'll agree. Like, what I would say is I agree with not that game, just generally speaking. I think they do get lucky on offense sometimes. But
what does that mean?
It just means, like, I don't know, just they're getting some breaks, I think is what it means. But what I would say, because I do agree with you at the same time, you can't say that after you get shellacked in the mound.
I know.
I mean, that's crazy.
If it was luck, then your manager wouldn't have pulled you after less than 3 innings.
So generally speaking, I agree with them, but you just can't say after you didn't perform how you should have.
I still can't even believe you're agreeing with him a little bit. But anyway, dude. So the Mets won 5-1 against the Reds. And I know it's just the Reds. This is something they should do. But I would say, because, of course, Brian always brings up, the Mets in the past. I feel like the Mets in previous years, they would have done great against a good team like the Braves in a series and then come out against a shitty team like the Reds and then absolutely blow it. But, they score 5 runs last night and they had Chris Bass on the mound, and he needed to do one thing, which is to get them length because, the Mets kind of used a lot of their bullpen up the past few games against the Braves, and he did exactly that. He went 8 innings through 114 pitches, Brian, which I want to say is the most he's thrown all season.
I would say that's a safe assumption.
Yeah. And he had 8 hits given up, no earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. And I think for him, I mean, not only to be, to go the length like that for him, I feel like was a little bit of an ask. I feel like he struggled at numerous points this season. I feel like even his last outing wasn't really that great. Let's see. 2 outings ago, Miami, he went 6 innings, but gave up 4 runs with 4 walks, struggling with control a little bit. But you know what, dude? He did that, and he didn't give up any earned runs. I mean, he was pretty locked down. He had phenomenal command of his fastball. And I feel like 8 Ks for him as well is a good amount. Ottavino was able to come in the 9th, give Diaz a rest. And he kind of closed out that inning for them. And the Mets, not only did they work defensively or on the mound, but they worked offensively as well. Sterling Marte with a nice home run in the first inning. It was a 2-run homer. Nimmo scored, Marte scored, put them on the board, set the tone here for the Mets. And I think the Reds kind of felt that because, I mean, you look at the Reds, obviously they didn't score. They had 9 hits, but, the Mets played good defense. They turned a few double plays. That kind of, shut down a lot of whatever momentum Cincinnati was getting. And then third inning, Vogelbach has a nice RBI single. And then towards the end of the game there, I mean, in the 8th inning, you get Tyler Naquin on 2 RBI triple. I mean, I feel like since the trade deadline, it's been Naquin and it's been Vogelbach. I mean, it's phenomenal, honestly. Like they're hitting really well. Vogelbach is very impressive at the plate, dude. He's a phenomenal eye, and when he makes good contact, he really drives that ball. RBI single. I mean, think about what the DH spot was before him, dude. It was Dom Smith, absolute train wreck. JD Davis, not good at all. They made a significant change in the DH spot, and it's helping them a lot. And then, like I said, too, Tyler Naquin has been a phenomenal addition. So this is a game where you expect the Mets to win with a score something like this, and they did exactly that. I mean, I think the Mets are really rolling. They're really in their groove. And I mean, tomorrow? I think we have Walker. I think he should be back on the mound tomorrow. No, Carrasco. Carrasco's on the mound.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And I think at this point, I mean, your starting pitchers are kind of in a groove as well. I mean, there's not really.
Oh, but that's today. Correct.
Oh, tonight. Yeah, today. Tomorrow should be. Then tomorrow is. Yeah, it's Walker. I was thinking, whatever. At this point, then after Walker, it's going to be Scherzer then DeGrom. I mean, I think at this point, I mean, our starting rotation is it's very, it's dominating, it's intimidating. The Mets are a very crazy team right now, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're on a good stretch. I think the whole thing here is like we kind of alluded last night,
stay healthy
with Richard. Yeah, stay healthy and just the offense. I think just needs to be maintained, and I don't think we can assume that it will. And I think guys like Eduardo Escobar, Brandon Nimmo, James McCann are eventually going to need to kind of step up because Naquin, Vogelbach, and even Lindor to an extent aren't going to just be on fire the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like those guys are helping big time right now. And even Darren Ruff, who's been a little rough, to start his Met tenure, is going to need to step up. So I think it's just one of those things where, they can't just wait around for Alonso and, Marte to do some damage. They're going to need contributions from the other guys. And I think out of anybody, I mean, I guess it's a tie between McCann and Escobar, but I guess because I had higher expectations, I guess I would say Escobar has to be the biggest disappointment. I mean, the fact that he can't hit 250, hasn't hit for that much power, and he's kind of a part-time player right now, it's kind of a major disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he is. I would say McCann is more of a disappointment because I've seen Escobar's hitting the clutch a few times this season. I feel, obviously McCann. I know he was injured and everything, but I mean, his offense is just so stagnant. It's ridiculous. But I mean, in terms of the offense, I mean, we saw it, I feel like, this weekend. We saw it last week as well. Yeah, the Mets are doing a really good job in spreading the wealth. Because they do have a lot of really good hitters on the team. And think about it, like, yeah, like Naquin and Vogelbach aren't always gonna be on it, but then you could look to a Lindor or an Alonso one night. You can look to McNeil one night. I mean, I feel like all these guys have a capability of having a good night. And again, like with our starting pitching, I feel like it only takes two of them to kind of have a decent night, and we would score enough to win. I mean, think about it. I mean, it was Naquin, Vogelbach, and Marte were the only three scorers there. Scored 5 runs. We only give up 1. If tonight they don't do anything, it could be Alonso and Lindor hitting a couple dingers.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just you would feel pretty good about tonight. I guess really the only thing that could, I think, come in their way would be just a Carrasco implosion, which you never know when it'll happen.
Yeah.
The good and the bad with him. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They have a 7-game lead. And a pretty impressive road mark here at 35-21. So obviously trending in the right direction. And despite the Dodgers winning 8 games in a row, they're only 4 back actually for the best record in the National League, which really would be a big boost for them to avoid a wild card series with Atlanta, with San Diego or Milwaukee and possibly Philadelphia. But I think Philly's hot. They've won 9 out of 10. So I think this is a very big series this weekend against the Phillies. Scherzer getting the ball on Friday. I mean, I think that's going to be big, and obviously just taking care of business against the Reds. I mean, even if you could say, oh, well, you won the series, but really anything less than a sweep, I think will be disappointing because the Reds are just that bad, and the Mets have played that much better than them this season.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, the Reds, they're 2 good pieces are gone now. So.
Yeah, they have Mike Minor, Luis Sessa,
not good.
Joey Votto.
He scored last night, 8th inning, but I mean,
it's crazy. Was it last year or was it the year before we had like a crazy year?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay, out of nowhere because it sucked for like 5 years. But yeah, I think it's all over for him. But needless to say, it was just nice getting 2 New York wins last night. We were talking. Last night was the last night of the pick segment. So Tony shellacks me. I finished at 500, and I think I was like 12 games behind Tony over 70 picks. So really was a rough one for me.
Yeah.
But I was thinking for the new one, we'll start today, running through September 9th. And I say the winner gets free wings for week 1 of the NFL season.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of kick off the year right.
Yeah, dude.
So let's get after it, Tony. I think we have enough for 4. So what do you got for your picks here?
Yeah, dude. I'll definitely, certainly, gladly take the Mets tonight. I know we said, Carrasco. Oh, I didn't say that. Brian said, Carrasco implosion with a smile on his face. But the fact of the matter is, over his last 5 starts, he's only given up 5 runs. And I don't think he's gone less than 6 innings. And I think against a Reds team here that doesn't really have much offense, I think he's going to go 6 innings. I think he's going to give up 1 earned run, maybe 4 Ks, 5 Ks. And I think on top of that, we mentioned that if the guys the last night that didn't go off tonight would be Alonso, it would be Lindor. I think Alonso's going to hit 2 dingers tonight. And McNeil and Lindor both have a couple RBIs here. So I would say the Mets take this one. Let's say 7-1 at this point. Let's do it.
All right. So, I mentioned, we got that pitchers duel in the Pacific Northwest tonight with Luis Castillo, Garrett Cole, a pitching matchup we saw last Wednesday at the stadium. And I think the Yankees want to keep this going. That was such a rough stretch, losing those 5 games in a row. And Garrett Cole, like I mentioned earlier, has a lot to prove. And I think he does it tonight. I think he's fired up and he just wants to say, I'm just sick of hearing it. I want to show people I'm the best pitcher in baseball. And I think he does that tonight. I want to say he goes 7 innings, strikes out 12, gives up 3 hits, no walks, no runs. I think Aaron Judge takes Luis Castillo deep in the first inning, a solo shot. And then Josh Donaldson, a couple hits tonight. RBI, LeMahieu with a couple hits and an RBI as well. 3-0 Yankees. And I say they go Chapman in the 9th, getting his first save in a couple months.
Wow. Okay, Brian.
Okay.
We got Toledo checking in. New setup looks dope. He loves double box action, dude. Thank you, Tully.
Appreciate it, man. Haven't heard from you.
Yeah, nice to hear from you again, bud. All right, so for my next pick, dude, it's pretty crazy what Baltimore is doing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 1 game out of a playoff spot.
1 game out of a playoff spot, 57-52. They beat Toronto last night. I know I mentioned on the show I was going to take it. Unfortunately, the game had started already, but Kikuchi didn't do too well. Surprise, surprise. However, tonight, Alex Manoah on the mound. I mean, think about Manoah. He's 12-5 in the season. Obviously, doesn't lose a lot. A 2.45 ERA. 132 innings, giving up 101 hits, which is, I guess you get some hits, but I mean, regardless, his ERA is still pretty low. 119 Ks, only 30 walks, 12 home runs against Kyle Bradish for the Orioles. I mean, think about it. He has less than half of the innings pitched Manoah does, and he has just as many home runs given up. And 72 hits, by the way, over 56 and 1/3 inning. Oh, yeah, 56 and 1/3 innings. I would imagine that Toronto could kind of jump on Kyle Bradish here. I understand, Baltimore is doing well. They have some, good offensive production. I think, they scored 7 runs last night, I think. But regardless, I think against Manoah here, they're not going to score as much. Toronto is able to even it out. I would say Toronto wins this one 4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is a wake-up call, but I don't know if you saw, but Baltimore finally packing the stadium. The fans are rallied. They've always been near the bottom in attendance the last couple of years, but they had almost like a sellout over the weekend. And I think it was this past Saturday was the highest average and gross attendance, like collectively in the major league since opening day of 2019. So
no shit.
For all the qualms, baseball being a dead sport, I think it just shows, especially when your team is in contention to compete for a World Series. That's exciting stuff, and fans just don't want to miss out on being a part of it.
I think, honestly, baseball, in terms of that, it's a dying sport, I think people who say that are people who don't watch baseball.
Exactly.
They don't understand.
Exactly. Oh, it's so boring.
Yeah, because
so boring.
Yeah, it's a lazy fucking take. It's Max Kellerman over there. As Tully says, he's working during the days now. Love that.
We have some breaking news.
And later today, though, he says, as Brian says, we have some breaking news.
Chris Sale is now out for the season after fracturing his wrist in a bike accident.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Bike, sickle, or motorcycle?
It just said bike, but you would think bike would mean motorcycle, but
no, I don't think so.
Yeah?
I would think
or
bike.
It would say motor. Oh, I got you. Yeah, so it probably is a bike, but I mean, he's been injured. That contract's been a disaster, and I would imagine that we really never see that version of Chris Sale ever again.
Tolino says that guy's a menace to himself, and he is, dude. What an idiot.
Yeah, almost as dumb as Tatis getting in multiple motorcycle accidents this offseason. Luckily, he's almost back, so can't wait to see him.
The Padres need him for sure, dude.
And speaking of the Padres, they're a complete mess.
They lose last night?
They did lose 1-0 to the Giants. You had the Giants
good
last
for
night.
Blake Snell.
So they have really been struggling, but I think, tonight is the night, they turned it around. Alex Cobb on the hill for the Giants here in San Diego, 3-6, 4.08. Joe Musgrove, fresh off that $100 million extension, 8-5, 3 ERA for the Padres. And I just think, all the excitement, the new lineup, the building will be packed. I'm sure it'll be a great night for baseball tonight in San Diego. But I think Musgrove mows down the Giants. I mean, they only scored 1 run yesterday. It's not like they were, hitting the cover off the ball against Blake Snell of all people. So give me the Padres here. I think a lot of runs early, jump all over Cobb. He's chased after 3 1/3, and the Padres win this one 10-2. Juan Soto, 2 home runs, and Josh Bell hits his first home run as a San Diego Padre.
Josh Bell. All right, dude. I guess I'll go with the Braves tonight, I think. They're playing against the Red Sox, and obviously, the Braves did not have a great weekend against the Mets. And I would imagine Charlie Morton's coming out there a little pissed off. The Braves are going to be a little bit pissed off. I think they're now 6 games, 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Or after last time they get half a game. So, and Boston also didn't have a great weekend. They were getting shellacked by Kansas City. I think their last game they got outscored 13-4 or something. And I mean, yeah, they're scoring. I think throughout the whole weekend they scored like 4 runs every game, but they gave up like 13, 7, like whatever it was, dude. I mean, obviously their pitching has been, a big hole. Speaking of Chris Sale, I feel like, in their organization, and on top of that, their offense has been kind of shoddy. And I'm imagining it's a Braves lineup that is angry. They would certainly take Rich Hill to the house, who's pitching for the Red Sox.
I thought you kind of liked him.
Yeah, I do still like him. I mean,
He's
I would
awful, dude.
I would say he's awful. There's worse pitchers in the league than him.
Yeah, Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, anyone on the Nationals, really.
Yeah.
And possibly Blake Snell.
Nah.
Dude.
Snell is better.
I don't know. Anyway, I would say Rich Hill gets kind of shellacked tonight. I guess the Braves, I mean, I would say it gets kind of ugly here. I would say like 9-2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely. Just everything would point towards that for sure. Rich Hill just sucks, and I think the hitters can take advantage of his 80-mile-an-hour fastball. We got Feltner versus Mikolos in Colorado tonight, and this is Nolan Arenado's return to Colorado. And I think he'll be motivated to put on a show in front of the fans. Cardinals are hot. We saw what they did in this Yankees series, and I think they put some runs on the board early here. I mean, I honestly think they're going to score 13 tonight, 13-5 over the Rockies. Mikolos picking up his 9th win of the season. 2 home runs for Goldschmidt, 2 home runs for Arenado, 6 overall as a team.
Wow. My next game, which is going to be the 3rd game, right? I think we picked 3rd, 4th. I'm going to pick Mets. Oh, and then Blue Jays, Braves. Okay, so my last game here, we mentioned the Phillies being on a 9-game winning streak, Brian says. I think it's going to extend to 10 tonight. Zach Wheeler on the mound, going for his 11th victory. Right now, he's 10-5 in the season. The man wins games, 2.69 ERA. And then, like, again, you kind of mentioned how good the Phillies have been doing. They swept the Nationals, and they did pretty well against the Braves as well before that. And Miami, I know, like, lost 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. I think they took 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati, but I mean, it was some close games there. I feel like even against Cincinnati. So I think as of right now, I mean, I think Philly has a really good chance. Again, I mean, 9-game winning streak isn't a fluke. Kyle Schwarber, 2 dingers tonight.
I think 36 or 37.
37.
Yeah.
And then, oh wait, no, 35. Or it would make it 36. 2 dingers.
Yeah.
And then Alec Boehm, maybe a nice 2 RBI triple.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Yeah, right. Alec Boehm. Like him?
Yeah. But he hasn't lived up to it, though. He hasn't. He was supposed to be a lot better.
But he's touching 300 on the average right now. I feel
Power.
Like, yeah. Whatever. Give me the Phillies here. 5-1.
All right. 4th and final for me. We got Urias versus Ryan tonight in Los Angeles. Dodgers make it 9 in a row. I want to say it's not even close. Twins have kind of been struggling here. Urias, I'm going to say, goes 7 scoreless. Dodgers 6-0. 2 Mookie Betts home runs. Trey Turner 4 hits. Dodgers show whether they're the best team in the National League.
Wow, interesting.
How do you think they're neck and neck, or how do you feel with Mets Dodgers comparison here? And let's assume obviously Kershaw is healthy.
Right. I guess neck and neck. I forget who was saying yesterday on the radio that the Mets pitchers were better, but I mean
probably Rothenberg.
No, it wasn't Rothenberg. It was some schmo during the day. But I was like thinking to myself when he said that, I was like, I don't know, dude. Because they have Gonsolin, obviously, if Kershaw's healthy. And then, who's their guy? Anderson?
Yeah, Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Anderson's been absolutely crazy good this season.
Andrew Heaney.
Walker Buehler?
He's injured. I don't know if he's coming back.
Really?
But that's, that would be huge if he does. I'm just kind of checking that out here.
Mm-hmm. Because he's ridiculous.
Let's see. Update 22 hours ago.
Well, Preferred checks in. He goes, Barnes sound clip, legendary show yesterday.
Absolutely legendary, Prefer, and we always appreciate you tuning in. Okay, they're saying potential bullpen or mid-inning role. In that
For Bueller?
Yeah. He will have about a month or so left in the regular season. So basically, they're expecting like first week of September, but it's like just put him in the rotation.
What's wrong with him?
Mañana. Oh, forearm strain.
Interesting.
2 weeks away from getting off a mound and throwing. And then we know the process after that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Also, I think I haven't heard what is Dustin May still on Dodgers? Like,
he hasn't come back yet.
What's his deal?
Dustin May sets sights returns to Dodgers, but when? Very open to postseason bullpen role.
I'm sure he is.
Over the last 3 weeks, May has been with the Dodgers AAA affiliate in Oklahoma City. 2 rehab starts before being activated. Evaluate his progress and see when he could possibly return. Sounds like they're really taking it easy with him. But imagine, though, if Bueller and May are out of that bullpen.
That's ridiculous.
So how do you feel, though? I mean, do you want to face the Dodgers?
I think we're going to have to.
But who do you think at the end of the day will end up being better, the Dodgers or the Padres?
Oof.
And Tatis, let's assume, back to normal.
I guess the Padres. I feel like their offense would be more consistent.
Yeah. But pitching wise, I mean, it's Musgrove, Darvish,
Snell,
isn't it? Who else is there? Schedule here. I don't know why I'm completely blanking on who else is in the rotation. Of course, whenever you want a quick answer to something, Tony.
I know, it doesn't work.
Takes forever. Clevenger. Okay.
Luis Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, and Manaea.
Oh, Manaea. Yeah.
So I would say, like
Snell,
the
Manaea,
top of
Clevenger.
the Dodgers rotation is
That's
probably
actually
better,
pretty good,
but collectively, the Padres have a deeper rotation. And I mean, that would be different if Bueller and May were obviously healthy, but it doesn't look like they're going to be in the starting rotation.
I know.
So, can't wait to see how that plays out, honestly.
Clevenger.
Mike Clevenger.
Decent, dude.
Yeah. And let's see. Other than that, just a couple other things here. Yesterday, they announced Mekhi Becton, serious knee injury in practice. Same injury he had last season. So he could potentially miss the whole season for the Jets, who had just moved him to right tackle with Fant playing so well at left. So that could be a problem. I know the Jets just did bring in former All-Pro Dwayne Brown for a workout. He was on the Texans and the Seahawks. So maybe he fills in, but we'll see. Obviously not the best way to start there. And then Serena earlier today announcing that the end is near. No official announcement, but I guess everyone is assuming next month's United States Open will be her last. But I think it's just one of those things, when these greats get to the point where they just don't feel they have a shot to compete and win. They feel like it's not worth it for them.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I guess she's old and she's doing it for a while now, dude. Why not?
Yeah.
I think she still got it. But she seems like the type of athlete that can't really handle the loss.
That's what it is.
Because she's complained before.
But she doesn't really have it. It's almost like slightly better than what Tiger can do right now. That's how I look at it.
You really think so? I think it's way better than what Tiger can do. The only thing she can't handle losing to like some 18-year-old little girl.
Well, he can handle it so much better.
Yeah. Oh, obviously he's handling it with, poise and sportsmanship. She's not. But I mean, obviously, you can't really denote her career or whatever. She's great for tennis. As we have preferred, commenting again, Noah Syndergaard. He's quoting, looking forward to facing the Mets with Philly. And he says, "Ha ha ha." Are we going to see Natalie Portman's Thor or Chris Hemsworth Thor?
I'm going to say we're going to see the best version of Thor
You're out of your mind,
since
dude.
we've seen since 2019.
It's funny because, when the Yankees were facing St. Louis and they were facing Monty, you're like, oh, no way. Like, Monty doesn't matter. Old team. He's not good. Whatever. Ends up pitching pretty well. And now here you're like, oh, Thor facing his old team. They pitch really well.
Well, wouldn't that be me learning my lesson? That there's more motivation.
But are you actually learning your lesson? Like, is there?
Would I have said that anyway? I mean,
yes.
That's a good point. All I'm saying is Syndergaard, he's always been talented. Long layoff.
That's like one good start, dude.
Long layoff, though. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a full season, Tony. But maybe, the opportunity here to pitch in the postseason energizes him. And I think he really, more than anything, wants to go out and dominate the Mets. I mean, we'll see if he could do that. But that's going to be interesting. Is he scheduled to start this weekend? Do we know?
I believe so. Yeah. I think we talked about it, didn't we?
No, but do we have like a day? Like,
oh, you want to know?
I know Scherzer's facing Suarez
right.
on Friday.
So if we go over to Saturday, Noah DeGrom. Okay.
So is it Sunday?
I guess it's Sunday against. Oh no, it's not. I guess he's not. Zach Wheeler.
But I would imagine they have other matchups this season. But kind of interesting.
So. He's ducked the Mets. He's scared as fuck. Get out of town, dude.
I just can't wait to see how it plays out, honestly.
Me too, because I know how it's going to play out. He ducked the Mets before with LA. He is scared, dude. He doesn't want to face our lineup, and we're even better now than we were then.
All right, Tony. I mean, a lot of season left. Let's see what happens. So let's say.
Okay.
Right? I mean, no.
Yeah. I don't know why you're so concerned with Syndergaard. I'd be more concerned with Cole if I were you.
Cole's going to pitch well.
Yeah. You sound very confident there.
Very confident. Very, very confident. Because he's had a pretty good year. There's been some.
No, he has not had a pretty good year.
And I think, all it takes is whenever the first round series is for the Yankees this year, that first start gives them 7 strong, 2 earned or less, 8, 9 strikeouts, win. All that matters, Tony. And especially do or die game, bring his best stuff. Yankee offense supports him. I think, this is a very, one-sided conversation here. It's all in front of him. He's got to do it. He's going to do it. And there's no other way I see it happening.
Okay.
So, but other than that, anything else you got for me, sir?
For just today in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. The New York Rangers named the captain today, or maybe late last night, this morning, whatever. Jacob Trouba is going to be their captain.
What are they doing? I know you're not. You started out trying to say it positively, but I know in the back of your head you're thinking there's a couple of better options.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there's a couple better options. I mean, I really thought Kreider was going to be the captain, to be honest.
Or even Panarin. Or
yeah.
even Zibanejad.
I don't know. I mean, we've obviously it's been a while since I guess it was maybe 2018 is when the last time they captain with McDonough for the Rangers and historically, the Rangers do typically pick defensemen as their captains, I suppose. I mean, I guess before McDonough there was Callahan who was a forward, I suppose, but I mean, Jacob Trouba showed a lot this season in terms of, sacrificing his body, laying it all out there. He's a phenomenal defenseman. He's young, he's 28 years old. He's a really good Ranger, obviously. And I would imagine, this is something the team put to the vote, right? I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Just to me, it just doesn't seem like the right move, honestly, because I think what Kreider did, but maybe part of this is the team felt in the postseason Kreider didn't earn his stripes.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he kind of didn't, I suppose. But, I mean, I don't think the players that's the way they think. It's like, oh, Kreider didn't perform in the postseason. He's not going to be captain
all I'm
now.
saying, man, is I think you look at it And a couple of those games where we had the lack of offense, the lack of answering, the other team's goals, put a couple across. I don't know. It feels like a season that should have ended with a championship. It reminds me of 2017 Yankees, or for you, 2015 Mets.
Mm-hmm.
It really does remind me of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly within their grasp. But I don't think, McDonough not performing, I guess, not McDonough, Kreider not performing, I suppose, as well as he did in the regular season and in the postseason, lost him the captainship.
But I think you're telling me, though, if they had ended up winning the Stanley Cup and he scored at a much higher rate than he did in these games, before they got eliminated, wouldn't be a close conversation.
No, I mean, maybe
Finals MVP.
But again, I don't think like. I mean, you don't name a captain your captain because he's the best player in the team.
Yeah. But so you weren't surprised at all?
Yeah, no, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm a little surprised. I mean, because that's what we were talking about last season, him naming Kreider the captain. I'm sure he's going to be an alternate still, which is fine. And I mean, I'm happy for Trouba. That's huge. I mean, he was someone, like I said, who sacrificed his body all season long blocking shots. He's a great defenseman. He scored in big spots as well for the team. I could see a lot of players rallying behind him.
Yeah. So, and then it'll be interesting to see, some of the new additions, how they fit in. Who's the guy with the 7-year deal from Carolina?
Matthew Tkachuk.
It is Tkachuk?
No, it's
no.
Hold on. It's someone with
Anderson or something.
No,
I'm like completely blanking. Not the offseason.
Yeah, so am I right now. It's not Tkachuk. It's someone with that type of name from.
Huska.
Adam Huska? No.
Yeah.
The goalie, Adam Huska? Kako, we know that, right? Ty Emberson from Arizona, Patrick Nemeth, Vincent Trocheck.
Trocheck, okay.
Trocheck, not Tkachuk.
7-year deal.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
don't know,
sound
man.
very happy about that one.
I mean, are you?
Yeah, I'm stoked for that. I think it's. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, they needed a center. Trocheck is good. Coming off of a good year too. When we think about it, I mean, it's going to be adding a lot to affect the offense. That's what they need. They need a center. They got a center, a good center. So, I mean, think about it. What did they give up? Let's see, 2025.
No, it was a free agent.
Just a new contract. Oh yeah, he was a free agent. They didn't give up anything.
7-year deal. He's 29 though, no?
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like you don't see that too much in hockey, right?
7-year deal
is a 29-year-old who's not,
ridiculous.
Like a perennial all-star.
I guess. I mean, maybe they're going, extending the contract a little bit, but I mean, hey, dude.
I just think this is a huge season for the Rangers, though.
No shit, dude. Yeah.
But it's like you have to step forward. I just feel like very rarely you see a team, they have the surprise run. Then the next season they fall back, and then the following season they get it back. It usually just spirals the wrong way.
I know.
This year is so important, and I just hope having Gerard Gallant as coach doesn't deter them from success come postseason time. Because I really didn't think he had a good postseason. I really didn't.
No, he didn't. I mean, he was under a lot of question and scrutiny for his moves in the postseason, and it is a huge season, like you said. I mean, think about last season. I mean, it was still a rebuild. They didn't really expect that much from them, and they made such a good postseason run. I mean, and then now you're making moves to better your team. People are expecting you to go deeper into the playoffs. You have to make the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Next season, you have to.
So,
and if you're Gerard Gallant, you really have to.
What would you say percentage he makes it through the season?
I mean, if the season's going well, he's making it through the season.
Like just generally, nothing about if this, if that, just like percentage that, whenever the season ends, he's still the head coach.
75, 80%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dolan, though, been known to be quick with the finger.
Very quick with the finger, I know, but I feel like you can't be in the middle of the rebuild and keep changing your fucking coach, dude.
I know, but they had the opportunity this offseason. I know you didn't want it to be one and done, but
It can't be one and done.
Barry Trotz.
Barry Trotz has won a Stanley Cup.
I just think it's funny, these certain people that you get so excited about. Barry Trotz, Tortorella, Vigneault.
Tortorella is, where is he coaching with Philly again now?
I think he was in. Did they actually hire him?
Fuck, I forget, dude. It's been so long since I've read anything hockey.
I know. It's like it's not even going on.
I know. Well, it isn't going on.
Flyers, yeah.
Yeah,
64
Flyers
years
did.
old. So see if he can bring some magic back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see, dude.
Yeah, but I would say other than that, Tony, another great show. Really appreciate everybody, including Prefer, for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out our archives on the YouTube page, such as our show last night at the Whiskey Barrel. Definitely want to check that one out, as well as the summer collection at downtimetv.com. Everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.